Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Royale Z's shooting my first video here in my car. Got a 24 Nissan Z or RZ34, whatever you want to call it. I've had it for about 2 years now. Done a few things to it. Long story about how I ended up with the sport instead of a performance, but in the end I ended up just doing a couple modifications to it. Like, for example, I swapped the LSD. That was the number one priority for me, making sure that I had the LSD and not an open diff. Swapped the wheels. I have Nismo LMRS1s. I did the two-piece rotors from Z1, the Akibono brakes, painted in blue, put a custom logo on there, Fair Lady Z. I had the open lug nuts from Nismo as well. I blacked out the katanas, which I really didn't like the silver, so that's why I did that. Added the duckbill spoiler. I've got these little slats here in the back for right now, but I've got a body kit coming, and I'll post a video about that once that comes in. I install it. I've got Sonic right there. You already know. And I have the Boost Logic titanium catback exhaust. Like it a lot. I'll do a cold start here. Let's see on the outside. Fairly simple. Nothing too extravagant. Swapped out the tires too when I swapped out the wheels. I have Indy 500s, version 1. I know version 2 just came out. The car is also lowered on Blitz coilovers, dampers, ZZRs. So it's lowered about 0.75 in the front, close to an inch, somewhere between 0.75 and 0.80. There's a little bit of settling that happens. And in the back, it's a full inch. So that's what I've got going on in the back. As far as the inside's concerned, let's see. Ignore my garage. I'm always working, that kind of thing. Anyways, swapped out. If you know, the Sport comes with a cloth interior. Swapped out the interior for blue leather because that's exactly what I wanted at the very beginning. I wanted a Everest white with the blue interior, but the dealerships here, they're trash. So yeah, I had to just do it myself. Like, again, swap the diff, swap the interior. Those were the two main things. Probably the third main thing that I would have wanted was the rev match, but nonetheless, it is manual. Wouldn't get anything else. I have the there's a little bit of, gotta vacuum that out, but got the mats there that I got from the factory. I swapped out the ignition switch there for the, I want to say it's the Nismo, so I can kind of see it. I don't know, it's red. You know which one I'm talking about if you know. The back, let's see, so there's a Z that comes in the back here, and you know it's I think it's somewhere right here. It comes from the factory right here. I took that off, painted it, and I put it in the back. Let me see if I can get my key here and open it up for you guys. Just starting with the outside. So there it is. I put it right there in the back. I've seen other Z owners put it in the front. I put mine in the back. That's where I wanted it. So performance-wise, obviously you see the Boost Logic catback exhaust. I have full downpipes from Sport Performance, the megaphone version. I love them. I had the resonated versions first, and I didn't like those. It gave it like a high-pitched sound. Now it's much more deeper throughout the RPM range. I have B6A shorty intakes. I have a Blitz strut bar. Let's see what else. The car is tuned by Racebox. In Houston, I started off doing the remote tune on the street, just because there's always that argument about what's best, on the street or on the dyno. I get it, the dyno gives the numbers, right? And everyone's always asking, hey, how much horsepower are you pushing? It really wasn't about that for me. It was about getting that smooth curve, like as far as the power band's concerned. And anyways, I did, I think three revisions on the street, and then I did the last one at the dyno there at Racebox. And so it's a 93 pump tune, and it's pushing 410. I wanted a conservative tune. I mean, I didn't want to do too much. It is stock other than what I just mentioned. It's fairly new too. I know I've had it for 2 years already, right? Or almost 2 years. Bought it new. As a matter of fact, when I bought it, when I was saying earlier that dealers here in where I live were trash, they are. I ended up buying this out of New Jersey and shipping it to me here in Texas. I've got that license plate. Just a little detail, right? Got the windows tinted. Just all the usual stuff, right? This is coming up due. Of course, I don't have any cats on it. And so when it starts up, I know I'm not going to pass emissions, but we'll see. I don't drive it very much. I wish I could. My daily is right there. It's a 25 Nissan Sentra SR. But, there's other plans for the vehicle. Like I said, I have a body kit coming. I do have sway bars on it. They're white line. I did get some other stuff here from the Z1 that I'm going to put on. I got a rear tie bar for the back. I just put on a Pride Auto polyurethane transmission mount. And I just also got a diff brace. So I'm starting to try and stiffen up the chassis a little bit because, when I get on it, there's a little bit of wheel hop in the back, squat. I'm just trying to make sure that it stays a little bit planted, and every time I do a shift, that it just translates that power to the wheels. And so that's what this is about, right? I don't race, but I do like to drive fast sometimes. But it's all about driving enjoyment for me. I have a couple other videos, but this was just introducing the car and just getting started, man. We'll see where it goes. Like I said, in the future, I've got the body kit coming from Artwork Body Shop in Canada. I've been waiting almost 2 months for it. It's going to be another month just because they had some technical difficulties with one of the machines that makes their stuff. I don't know. I just got the email today. But I've already waited 2 months. What's another month? I'm doing the Z1 air-to-air. I'm also getting bigger turbos for the vehicle. And then PI. So I am going to do port injection. That I won't be able to do myself. I've got my tools here. I've got a couple other things. That's why my garage is a mess. I've done all the work on the vehicle myself. Not that I've done a lot or anything like that. It's, obviously, if it's fairly easy. Probably the hardest thing were the downpipes. And it wasn't even the downpipes themselves. It was the upper downpipes that I had a lot of issues with. And it was the heat shield. So everything else, I do it all myself. I'm going to do the air-to-air myself. I won't do the turbos myself, obviously, because I'll have to pull the engine for that. We'll see, how that works out, if I do PI after all or not. I mainly want to do the air-to-air just because I absolutely hate the intake setup on this car. They sit in the engine bay, and if you've seen this vehicle, there's no long tube intakes, kind of like there is for the Z34. It's just all, it sits in the engine bay. It's hot, and when I look at all the vitals on EcuTech when I'm driving this thing around, it's the charge air temps and just the air temp in general is really, really hot. So you'll see that I kind of built a makeshift heat shield to help keep out some of the heat. But no matter what you do, this thing's gonna suck in hot air, right? I have the downpipes heat wrapped all the way from the turbo back, trying to maintain some of the heat, or keep it away from the engine bay, but it doesn't matter. There was some cold air intakes that I think it was Soho had they were going to come out, and they were a long tube, and they would come through here. You'd have to cut out this some of the plastic right here. I don't know what this is called right here, the radiator support, and they would sit here in behind the bumper, and you could kind of get a cooler air, right? That's kind of what I want. I never had a Z34, but I have experience with the Z32 and the Z33 HR variant, which in my opinion was the best one. That's another story for another day. I had that vehicle, the Z33, which was probably my favorite one, and that's what prompted me to get this one. I liked that car a lot. It was my favorite car to have. And now this one's turning into something. I mean, like I said, I had it for 2 years. I barely hit 2,000 miles, but it is tuned already. Full downpipes, 3-inch intakes, the catback exhaust, obviously titanium. Boost Logic was the one that I like the look of it. I like the weight savings of it. I'm trying to take off some of the weight of this car. I've had some success, right? Removing the exhaust, the downpipes, some other things, right? The wheels, obviously. I still have the stock wheels right here. That's another spoiler that I got right there. Didn't like it. So the car moves, man. I like it. It's torquey. I like to spin the wheels a little bit sometimes. I enjoy that part. And yeah, we'll see. I have these parts that I'm going to put on right now. Mess around with the car a little bit, put it up in the air. Finish off the back part of the sway bar. I only did the front. I haven't done the back yet, so I haven't really driven it yet. I was away on business for work, but now I'm back. Got these parts, gonna put them on, and I kept all my stock parts. I mean, again, my garage is a complete mess, right? Obviously, right here in the corner, you'll see that is those are the shocks right there. I removed those coilovers. The air boxes for the intakes right there is the splash shield underneath. I have a Mishimoto splash shield underneath. I never swapped out the stock oil pan. It's plastic. If you know it's plastic. But that Mishimoto splash shield is really like it's rugged, and so I just don't see a need, at least right now, to swap that out, right? So that's what it is right now. But eventually in the future, we'll see. I don't know. The splash shield is doing its job. I do have a catch can, a Mishimoto catch can. To me, it doesn't make sense that there's only one catch can on one side, which if you're facing the car, it's on the right bank and not the left bank over here. I've seen a variant from B6A for the Q50, Q60 that has two. It seems like it would work on this. Honestly, when I watch these videos, first off, there's not much content for the RZ34. A majority of it's for the Q50, Q60, and obviously the Z34. And well, that's what this is about, right? I mean, just kind of switching it up a little bit. Pretty soon, a lot of these Z34s will fade into the sunset because they're all clapped out already. The purpose of this car isn't to clap it out at all. Again, the body kit that I have is just the front lip, the side skirts, and some rear slats with some slats in the center. So it's pretty minimal, but it adds like the ground effect, right? That's what I'm looking for. I think outside of that, for sure, I'll do a carbon fiber hood. There's one in particular, it's the GT style from Saibon that I'm looking at. It has the 2 holes in the front top. That's the one that interests me most. I see people swap out these struts right here. I don't have that, obviously. I still have the stick. I don't know. It doesn't bother me that this is the way that it is. You won't find me pulling the engine or anything like that. I mean, I have taken this stuff off just because I had to put in the catch can, and obviously outside of that, I mean, it was just the intakes. All that stuff's pretty simple to do. People say it's hard, but there's like one part that's semi-difficult, I guess. If you've got 2 long pry bars, it pops right out, no issue. I don't know if I'm going to stay with these B6A shorty intakes or I'm going to swap them out for. There's another variant, again, it's inside the engine bay. That's the thing I don't like, which is why I'm leaning towards going air to air. I have taken the bumper off before. Another thing I didn't mention, I have a heat exchange from CZP. It's the CSF variant. Really happy with that. It's one of the larger ones in the market, if not the largest. I think AMS is redoing theirs, or Z1's redoing theirs to I think make it larger. I don't know, but the temp stays good. I mean, where I'm at here in Texas, it gets hot, and Houston, to be specifically, it's humid year round, always. And when I take this thing out, when I do get a chance to take it out and I go, it's never gone. You know, with the heat exchange, that is, it's never gone over like 186, 188. So that's pretty good. It could be cooler, right? Speaking of cooler, I've got a oil cooler from CZP that I'm interested in, and so I'm gonna buy that. But I'm just gonna buy it and hang on to it until I do the air-to-air. If I end up doing the air-to-air, so I can just take off the bumper one time, because I've already taken it off once. I don't want to keep taking it off again and again and again. I think we all know what happens when that happens. These little joints right here, they start to wear out, and so then it starts to look like it's sagging, and I don't want all that. You know, I don't want all that hassle. So I think I might take it off one more time. And when I take it off that one last time, it's gonna be to do everything, right? The air-to-air is gonna be to do the oil cooler, all of that. I have changed the diff oil. When I got the diff, when I put the diff on, the car had 60 miles on it. So the open diff that I had, 60 miles, bought it brand new, swapped it in, put new diff oil, ran it for about maybe about 1,400 miles or so. Then I swapped it out. I still have some here. Personally, I recommend this, but you know, everybody has their own. Gear 300 LS from Motul, 7590. Some people put 140 in there. I don't know. I'm not doing all that. I'm not tracking the car. But you know, everybody has their own opinion. As far as oil, what kind of oil do I use? I use Redline. I still use the factory recommended 0W20, even though I am tuned. I think if I do switch, which again, I just eclipsed 2,000 miles, I'm only going to do, I think, 0W30. 5W30, I just don't see the point. I mean, it rarely gets that cold here in Houston. If it gets that cold here in Houston, if there's ice in the street, then I'm not taking this out anyways. I'm using Old Reliable over there to the left. So that's it. You know, I'll make sure that, you know, I post some more videos, but you'll be seeing me soon. Thanks.